The mantra of the weight loss industry for the past half-century has been calories in must be less than calories out or you're not able to lose weight. In other words, you need to be eating less calories than you're expending. I am sure that you have seen this presented by all kinds of experts in the media and weight loss industry. This is why the majority of diets are what is referred to as low caloric. Being on these diets requires a tremendous amount of willpower because you need to be fighting your natural hunger almost all day long. This is also why the new USDA food pyramid recommends that everyone be exercising 1.5 hours each day. You heard me correctly. Our government agency is now recommending that everyone should be exercising 1.5 hours daily in order to not gain weight on the amount of calories we are consuming today. Let me ask you a question. Are you exercising 1.5 hours daily? When I was involved in the clinical trials using my online Healthy for Life program, the endocrinologist who was directing the study stated very clearly that no one will lose weight in this trial because they are not exercising for 1.5 hours. In my program, we only recommend 30 minutes of modest aerobic exercise 5 times per week. Well, everyone lost a significant amount of weight in this study, and the endocrinologist was shocked. Why did this happen? When an individual finally becomes less and less sensitive to their own insulin, they literally tip over into an abnormal metabolic state where they're not able to use calories normally. A calorie is no longer a calorie. This happens because the muscle becomes insulin resistant first. Now, why is this important? Well, it is important because the muscle normally will take up 85 to 90% of all the calories from any meal or snack and utilize them as energy. When the muscle becomes insulin resistant, many calories cannot be utilized by the muscle for energy, and they are now diverted to the fat cells of the abdomen to be stored as fat. Since insulin levels are very high in this abnormal metabolic state, its job is to convert the glucose to fat and then block the release of this fat. Not only do you gain a tremendous amount of weight around your middle, but you also hold on to fat like a sponge holds on to water. Now, I have heard the following story and concern from my patients hundreds of times during my clinical practice. A man or woman comes into my office in their late 20s or maybe early 30s, and they complain to me that they have never had a weight problem. They state very clearly that they have not changed their diet or their activity level for the past 10 years. However, last year they put on 15 pounds, and this year they're already up 25 pounds. And they'll ask me, what is going on? Even though I really did not know what was happening years ago, I would normally respond to their question by telling them that their metabolism must have slowed down. However, now that I understand the problem of insulin resistance and the metabolic syndrome, I now realize that they had poor lifestyles that made them less and less sensitive to their own insulin. Then they finally tipped over into this abnormal metabolic state where a calorie is no longer a calorie. Even though they did not make any lifestyle changes, they began gaining weight because they were not able to utilize their calories normally. Has this possibly happened to you? Now, the answer to this problem is to firmly establish the triad of healthy lifestyles I promote in my Healthy for Life program, which actually improves insulin sensitivity and allows you to tip back into a normal metabolic state, and you begin releasing fat. The weight comes off as mysteriously as it came on. If you don't correct the